Greetings everyone, I'm Ellen Drees L. Austria and this is the report of Group 1. We will talk about the essential knowledge of K-12 mother tongue and use it as a language of teaching and learning. I am with Mr. Eric Batukan, Mr. Patrick Piteta, Miss Jessa Adang, together with Miss Mariam Azid and Miss Myla Asta. In this lesson, these are the words that may give you confusion as you move along this unit, such as LAS, which means Learning Area Standard. It is a description of what students are expected to know and be able to do a specific stage of their education, including skills and knowledge. Also, the story track and the primary track, in other term, is accuracy track. Now, let's proceed to 8 guiding principles. First is know the unknown. Second is language and academic development. Third is principle is cognitive development. Fourth is discovery learning. Fifth is active learning. Sixth is meaning and accuracy. Seven is language learning or language transfer. And the last is affective component, which valuing the home language and culture. For all students, whether they are learning through their first language or an additional language, is a vehicle for learning. By means of language, learners can access content of lessons and share their ideas. And as a future educators, it is our responsibility to make us sure the language is not a barrier of their learnings, to have a background knowledge of our students, to relate with them in every lesson that we are going to teach them. Now, let's proceed to the next topic, which is reported by Miss Myla Asta.
Hello everyone, I'm Myla Asta. I'm here to continue the report of Ellen Choice, Austria. So the learning area standard stated that the mother tongue should be used appropriately and effectively in order for the student be able to do at a specific stage of their education, including learning of other content subjects and languages. It is also incorporates the 5 core skills. It focused in the teaching for the story track, whereas it focused in meaning, while the primary track focused on accuracy or correctness. Now let's proceed to 5 core skills. So in the table, we can see in the right side the 5 core skills, which is listening, speaking, reading, writing, and viewing. While in the center, we can see the meaning of the story track. On the other side, we can see the primary track. Now let's begin the listening. In order to understand the meaning of the story, it is important to listen critically and creatively so that the student respond to what they hear. On the other hand, in primary, they recognize and distinguish sounds, syllables, words, and sentence. Second, the speaking. They speak in order to communicate their thoughts, ideas, and experience to others. While in primary, they use correct vocabulary, pronunciation, and the grammar. Third is reading. It focuses and read for enjoyment, to understand and use new ideas and information. And accuracy, they recognize parts of words like letters, syllables, and etc. Also recognize sentence and paragraph. Fourth is writing. They write in order to communicate their thoughts, ideas, goals, and experience. To emphasize the accuracy of writing, it forms letters properly and neatly, spell the word correctly, and use correct grammar. Lastly, the viewing. In order to understand the view, it is important to think responsibly and creatively. And for accuracy, it is recognized and distinguish print and non-print materials and able to critique the materials objectively. That's all for my part, and Mr. Bitita will continue the report.
Hello, how are you? I'm Patrick Pitita, and this is the grades 1 to 3 key standard table. So the keys, as you see and read the grades 1 to 3 key standard table, so the table has its grade level and its corresponding grade level standards. So the purpose of those is to develop learners to demonstrate the knowledge and skills instructed or taught by the teacher in independent in intentional context. So those instructed and taught knowledge and skills from a standard are reflected in the domains or domain in the K to 12 curriculum guide by Mother Tongue. So it can be used as content as performance standards in teaching the Mother Tongue by grades 1 to 3. So those standards are non-negotiable or cannot be changed. So as I said, the domains in the curriculum guide in Mother Tongue are being used as the standards in teaching grades 1 to 3. So here are the domains. Here as you see, the 13 domains, as you see and read. So the advantage of this grades 1 to 3 key standard table is for the teacher or the practice teachers to be guided on what standard to be followed in teaching grade levels. Like example, if I teach grade 1, I will have a guide on, or I will have the standard on what knowledge and skills that I will be teach. But the disadvantage of this grades 1 to 3 key standard table is that not all knowledge or domain standards key knowledge and skills are proven that the learners from that grade level are able to demonstrate all of that. That is it. Thank you.
Our assigned task was all about the K-12 education curriculum grade 1. So the standard of this was the learner demonstrates the knowledge and skills in listening and communicating about familiar topics, uses basic vocabulary, reads and writes independently, in meaningful context appreciates his or her culture. So there are 12 domains. The oral language, phonological skills, book print knowledge, phonics, and word recognition are the sample of the domain. So make sure that the learners should acquire or should learn about the oral language, phonological skills. At the end of the sim or at the end of the class, the learner could able to present, to identify, and to express about the learnings they have about this kind of domain. So that's all. Thank you.
The fifth domain is fluency. The learner demonstrates the ability to read grade 1 level text with sufficient accuracy, speed, and expression to support comprehension. The learner reads the sufficient speed, accuracy, and the proper expression in the reading grade text level. The sixth domain is composing. The learner demonstrate the ability to formulate ideas into sentence or longer text using developmental and conventional spelling. The learner uses basic knowledge and skill to write clear, coherent sentences and simple paragraphs based on the variety of stimulus materials. The seventh domain is grammar awareness. The learner demonstrates awareness of language, grammar, and usage when speaking and or writing. The learner speaks or writes correctly for different purposes using the basic grammar of the language. The eighth domain is vocabulary and concept development. The learners demonstrate developing knowledge and use of appropriate grade level vocabulary and concept. The learners uses developing vocabulary in both oral and written form.
Listening comprehension. It demonstrates understanding of grade level narrative informational text. It also comprehends and appreciates grade level narrative informational text. Learning a language for a communicative purpose, listening plays a vital role, as it helps the language learner to acquire pronunciation, word stress, vocabulary, and the syntax in the comprehension of message conveyed can be based solely on tone of voice, pitch, and accent. Reading comprehension. It demonstrates understanding of grade level narrative and informational text. It uses literary and narrative text to develop comprehension and appreciation of the grade level appropriate reading materials. This method of learning a new language through the process of understanding the meaning of words expression in the language. Attitude towards reading. It demonstrates positive attitude towards language, literacy, and literature. It values reading and writing as communicative activities. And lastly is study skills. It demonstrates basic knowledge and skills to listen, read, write for specific purposes. Using this, it also helps to develop their critical thinking and literacy skills.